All right, let's talk a little bit about declaring multiple pointers with a single statement. So thus far, all of the pointer declarations that I have written have looked something like this. And of course, what I'm doing here is I have led you to believe that this is the type. And if you take a look at how we declare multiple variables on a single line, then you would do something like this. And that would lead you to assume that you would do exactly the same thing when it comes to pointers. So instead of having the semicolon here, I would follow this up with a second declaration of a pointer, CP2. And it turns out that this is not correct. What's actually going on here is CP1 is a pointer, but CP2 is actually a character, not a pointer to a character. So, we've been operating under the assumption that the Backus-Naur form for declarations looks something like the following, where you have an identifier and then you have an optional assignment of some value, some literal. And I'm being a little informal here with what exactly constitutes a literal. And then if we want to, then we can follow that with a comma-separated list of other identifiers that we may choose to assign some initial value. And of course we can have zero or more of these things, and then everything is terminated with a semicolon. So if you look at this rule, this Backus-Naur form rule, then you would just assume that you have a type, and then you can have an identifier, assign it some literal, and then you just have a list of these. And that works just fine for characters and everything else, class, objects, points, complex numbers, dates, and times. However, it does not work with pointers. And with pointers, this works, but in order to make CP2 a pointer, we have to add the asterisk before the identifier. So just to modify this Backus-Naur form, in order to declare a pointer, we actually need to specify that we can optionally provide an asterisk before each identifier. And that's how we declare multiple pointers with a single statement.